Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Espresso with me, Darius and Anucauskas. Today is the 5th of November 2018. So welcome everyone, welcome to this Monday's morning session where we're going to have a look at a few instruments. So I hope you're all rested and you're ready for this week. So yep, but before we start looking at the charts, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay guys, so now then let's jump into the charts. Now the first one I want to touch on is Nikkei. So Nikkei already closed, and we can see that it closed slightly in the negative zone here. So in a way we're still above this long-term upside support line that has been running here since around the 8th of September 2017. So in a way that kind of keeps the bulls on their toes still, and we can see that they could see maybe something, a bit of a more retracement back to the downside, and as long as this line remains intact, we'll aim for higher levels. For those who are more on the cautious side, you could wait until this gets above the 22,310 zone, approximately there, and then you could potentially aim for higher levels. Or like I said, or for those who are more adventurous, so you could in a way see how this performs around the this long-term upside support line. Of course, don't forget to have your stop loss in place, because just in case if this breaks back down again, now this is where it could turn out to be quite ugly for the bulls again, because if this continues to travel lower and gets below the 21,460 zone, in a way this could open the path towards the lows that we saw here around the 26th of October. So we could then the index could make its way towards the 20,972 mark. And for those who are more on the conservative side, you could wait for a break here below in order to kind of aim for lower levels, and then we could in a way target the next potential area of support here at around 20,345. Now this level was marked here by the low that we saw around the 26th of March, so quite an important level here. In a way, this has been the let me just double check, the lowest point of this year, so that could get tested, but only, of course, only if we get a break here below the 20,972 mark, so approximately there, of course. So for now, I'm certainly looking at this picture. We are more leaning towards the bullish side rather than the bearish. But like I said, anything could happen. We could, in a way, start breaking this long-term upside support line and then moving lower again. But for now, as long as we're trading above this line, we could in a way aim for higher levels again. So on the upside here, you can see that we do have this short-term, or should I say medium-term upside support line as well, that got broken here in mid-October, or should I say, yeah, around the mid-October. It got broken, the index moved lower, so in a way we could test that one again, but for that we would need to see a good move above the 22,310 zone, approximately there. This would also place the index back above the 200 EMA here, shown as the black line, so could be also bullish indication for the time being. So for now, keep on monitoring this one and keep an eye on these levels that I was just talking about. Jumping into another index here, and that's FTSE. So the FTSE 100, last week it had a good run, it pushed higher, but you can see that on Friday and Thursday and Friday we had a bit of some down days here, and it kind of ended up the weeks around this key important level here that I have highlighted, and that's approximately around the 7,110 zone. Now that this area kind of acted as a very good area of resistance here on the 22nd of October, and also on the 29th of March. So this area becomes quite an important one. So in a way, if you're going to see a nice reversal here back to the upside here, it will start breaking the 7110 area again. Keep your eyes on this little next area of potential resistance, where you can see that last week the index managed to find kind of, well, or should I say, got held here last week. So, and that was approximately around the 7190 zone. So I was talking about this one in one of my previous videos. In the middle of the week last week. So continue monitoring this 7190 on the upside, and of course slightly above that the 7220 zone. The 7220 was marked here by the low of the 11th of September. So in a way, these two could be a nice area to watch here, nice potential areas of resistance. But if these don't hold, I mean, we still have this long-term upside support line that has been running here since around the 11th of February, something like that. So 2016, of course, guys. So this could potentially lead towards the test of that area if, of course, we get a break above these two levels that I was just talking about. But of course, before we could see such a scenario, we need to see the index reversing back above and moving back above the 7110, and then potentially this is where we could aim for these levels that I was just talking about. On the downside, looking at the downside, probably I would need to jump into a 4-hour chart in this one here, and you could in a way wait until this drops lower here, and because we do have a good potential area of support here at around 69.85 zone. Now a nice good drop below that, nice good break below that could potentially open the path towards the low that we saw here around the 26th of October, and that's approximately around this 68.50 zone. Now this is the area, could be a nice good area to watch. So for those who are more on the conservative side, in a way, you could kind of pass this move, this whole area for now, and wait until we could see a break below the 68.50. Now if we do get something like this, then of course the index could be opening the path towards much lower levels, and one good area that I've got marked here is the 66.75 area. Now this acted as a very good area of support around the November time 2016. So as you can see, kind of never managed to drop below that. So quite an important area becomes this one, the 66.75, and of course for us to kind of see that level being tested, we would need to get a nice good break below the 68.50 first. Jumping into gold, so gold is an interesting one. Now basically what's happening here is that it's kind of moved now from one range to another. So if you can see, previously a few months ago we were talking about this area here that we saw the gold kind of getting stuck here in this range here between the 1183 and the 1215 on the upside here. So it was kind of trading here within that range, but as you can see, it managed to break out of it, pushed higher, and now it's stuck in another range here between the 1215 and the 1235 on the upside. So in a way, this is what we're gonna do for now. We're gonna just wait and watch, because to be honest, we're gonna wait for a nice break here, either through the upper side here or through the lower side. But to be honest, because it's kind of looking at the price structure, the way we see the price structure right now, it's kind of forming higher lows, and if we get a nice pop here through the 1235, this could potentially open the path towards higher levels like 1245. Let me just quickly jump back into here. So the 1245 could be a next possible area, or even actually going all the way here higher towards the 1266. Now let me just kind of adjust this back here. So in a way, for now guys, you could continue monitoring this one and waiting for a break. If this continues, of course, to range here, that's going to be a range trader's paradise, of course. But for now, we're going to stay put here and just continue observing these levels. Jumping into euro dollar here. Now the euro dollar now has moved back below the 114 zone slightly, of course. What's interesting here is that, let me just jump into a 4-hour chart in this one. So what's interesting here is that even though yes, it's declining a little bit right now, but looking at this looking at the daily chart, of course declining, but looking at this 4-hour, you can see that it's trying to kind of pick up this momentum here, maybe trying to potentially push to the upside. But what's interesting here is you can see that it managed to test this downside, this short-term downside resistance line that got broken last week, and it's kind of acting now as a bouncing ground. So in a way, what we're going to do here, we're going to be very cautious here. We're probably going to take a neutral stance here for now and just continue observing some key levels. Now let me just adjust a few of these. So for those who are more on the conservative side, you could in a way wait until this moves back above the 114.55 area, approximately there, and then you could aim potentially towards the 114.95 or even higher. But of course, like I said, the 114.55 could be the area to watch for those who are more on the cautious side. Certainly keep your eyes on from the very short-term perspective, keep your eyes on this little level here as well, the 114.20 approximately there, of course. This could in a way be a break above that could lead towards this 114.55. I do understand that it's quite just only about 35 pips away from that, but nevertheless, keep your eyes on down, guys. Keep your eyes on this area here on the 114.20 today, and of course the more important one is the 114.55. A nice good break above that could open the path towards slightly higher levels here. On the downside, if this suddenly drops back down here below this in a way tentative downside resistance line, the short-term downside resistance line, of course we could if this moves below the 113.55 as well, we could start looking at the 113.35, but the more important level here still remains the 113 zone. So the 113 in a way that could be the gateway here. If of course that gets broken, this could be the gateway towards much lower levels. Yep, I mean for now we're kind of still a bit far away from there, and the way everything is shaping up right now, it's looking more bullish than bearish, but nevertheless still keep your eyes on this 113 zone. Anything could happen. We could see a sharp decline here back down, and then yep, this is where we could start testing the 113 again. So for now, be very cautious. Certainly with the like I said, with the upside here, for us to get comfortable with higher levels, we need to see a good break above the 114.55 first. Jumping into USDJPY, this one is of course well, last week we saw this one, or not last week, before last week, let's put it that way. We saw this one continuing to trade, kind of rebounding from this upside support line, this kind of medium-term upside support line that was taken from the low of the 29th of May. We can see that it rebounded nicely here from that line and pushed higher. So in a way, what we're seeing here right now, it's in a way forming another upside support line here, a very short term, of course, where at the moment it's kind of stuck here slightly below the key important 113.40 zone, because a nice good break above that, this is where it could potentially confirm a further up move here towards the 113.95 or even the 114.20 here. The 114.20 was marked by the intraday low here of the 4th of October, so quite an interesting level here. Certainly further acceleration could lead towards this test, the test of the highs that we saw around October here, or should I say the highest level of October, and that's approximately around the 114.55 zone. So keep your eyes on down, of course, but for all these higher levels, we need to see a good break here above the 113.40, and only then we'll consider, like I said, a further move higher. But for now, this is stuck here, and it's stuck below this key resistance, and of course it's stuck above the this short-term upside support line. Now, for us to get comfortable with the downside again here, now we would probably need to see not only a good break up below this short-term upside support line, but also a nice good move below the 112.53, something like that, approximately there, of course. And this is where we could then target the the medium-term upside support line that I was just talking about. So for now, guys, of course, keep your eyes on this one, because as you can see, it's kind of now stuck between these two levels here, and in a way, even if this is going to get broken, if let's say the short-term upside support line is going to get broken, then the pair could continue ranging here between these two levels, and which, I mean, it's not an ideal scenario, of course, but nevertheless this happens, and we could see maybe a further upside move again, even though, like I said, if it could break this upside support line, the short-term upside support line. So that's why we're keeping a close eye on this 112.53 level on the downside. And the last pair I wanted to quickly touch on, and that's USDCHF. So this one is a good one, an interesting one, and as you can see, this is what's happening right now. So in a way, if you take, this is a bit of a tentative upside support line here. Nevertheless, as you can see, last week it kind of got held here from the downside, kind of tested that line from the downside, and now we can see that it's trying to move higher, of course, but now the 4-hour candle here turned into the negative zone. Still, I mean, it's not finished yet, but still keep your eyes on that one. If this suddenly gets above this upside support line, this is where we're going to probably take a more cautious approach here. We're going to keep an eye on this high, this recent high that we saw last week, and that was approximately around the 1.0095 area, something like that. So a nice good break above that could potentially open the path towards much higher levels. I do understand it's quite a big of a area here, but to be honest, it's better to be safe than sorry. So if you are looking for a longer term up move here, when we would need to see a good break above the 1.0095 area, and then we'll aim for higher levels. But on the downside here, let me just adjust this level slightly here, because it's kind of irrelevant now. So this is where we're going to keep an eye on. We're going to keep an eye on this little area here at around 0.9985. A nice good break below that could lead towards the last week's low here, around the 0.9960 area, just maybe slightly above that, and this is where it could become more interesting for the bears, because a nice good break below that could send this pair towards the a test of this maybe 200 EMA, shown as the black line here. So in a way, for now, be very careful here. Certainly, it's stuck here. It's an interesting pair, but if this continues to move lower, for example, then this could be a good opportunity for the bears to take advantage of this one and drive this one lower. So for now, keep on monitoring this pair. Okay, guys, I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening. And if you want to join me later on in my Traders Tea Time, and that's 13:15 GMT, 14:15 British Summer Time. But for now, thank you very much, and bye-bye.